Foods to avoid if you have high blood pressure. People with high blood pressure might be more likely to get heart disease, strokes, and other health problems. With the right diet, a person can keep their blood pressure under control. So in today's video, we'll tell you about 18 foods you need to avoid if you have high blood pressure. So without further delay, let's begin. Number 1. Made-to-order foods. If your blood pressure is high, you should definitely stay away from a lot of processed foods. They tend to have a lot of sodium. In fact, sodium is the main ingredient that keeps them fresh and preserved for a longer period of time. Two special foods that need to be mentioned are bacon and hot dogs. Everyone loves bacon. But you know what? There are 100 milligrams of sodium and almost 5 grams of fat in a single slice of bacon. Most people eat more than 3 slices of bacon. You can calculate how much sodium you are taking in with them. So, you should stay away from them, especially if you already have high blood pressure. Hot dogs are even worse. Even a beef hot dog has up to 800 milligrams of sodium. If you have high blood pressure, you should avoid doing that too. Number 2. TV dinners. TV dinner is the word used for those pre-cooked meals that you can prepare just by heating them in the microwave. The sodium content of many of these frozen microwave meals ranges from 700 to 1,800 milligrams. With the daily recommended maximum dosage of 2,300 milligrams of sodium, it is hard to stay within this limit. This puts people with high blood pressure at greater risk. If you have high blood pressure, you should stay away from microwave meals and TV dinners. Number 3. Fried foods. Our list can't be complete if we don't talk about fried foods. If you look into what you are eating and find out that it is fried, you already know that it is full of sodium, trans fats, and saturated fats. And if you have high blood pressure, you should stay away from fried foods. Let's look at fried chicken for example. We know that white meat is usually a little bit better for you than dark meat. So, some people will think they are doing a great thing if they choose white meat for their fried chicken. But that's where you are wrong. There are 680 milligrams of sodium in a single fried chicken wing, and there are 1,200 milligrams of sodium in a fried breast. With that much sodium, you know what your blood pressure readings will be. Even if you don't have high blood pressure, just go into the kitchen of restaurants and see for yourself how these fried foods are made. We are sure you'll stay away from these foods for the rest of your lives. Number 4. Canned foods. Most canned foods have a lot of sodium because sodium is a preservative that helps them last longer. If you have high blood pressure, the last thing you want is to have a lot of sodium in your body. People with high blood pressure should have less than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. If you take more sodium than that, your blood pressure will rise. Number 5. Plant-based frozen foods that are already packed. People who are vegetarian often think that once they start living that way, everything is suddenly 100% healthy. There is no doubt that being a vegetarian is good for your heart. It's definitely healthier than eating a lot of animal fats and other foods like that. No question about it. But if you have high blood pressure, you still need to watch what plant-based foods you are eating. Why? Because they are full of salt, which is bad for your blood pressure readings. Frozen vegetarian foods that are already packed are full of salt to enhance their shelf life and improve the preservation process. One thing that you can do is to wash these frozen items thoroughly before using them. This way, most of the excess sodium will be washed away, but still prefer not to use them, and always opt for fresh vegetables. Number 6. Deli meats. We might think that deli turkey is healthy, but if you have high blood pressure, you should stay away from deli meats. There are nitrates in deli meats and in other processed meats. One serving of deli meat can have up to 600 milligrams of sodium. Having a lot of sodium can cause people who are prone to high blood pressure to retain fluid. As a result, their blood pressure goes up. So, if you have high blood pressure, it's important to keep an eye on your levels and choose foods and drinks with less sodium content. Number 7. Pickles. Like other foods, pickles have a lot of sodium. Did you know that a medium-sized pickle can have up to 500 milligrams of sodium? This makes a total of more than a third of the sodium limit for the day. According to a study, people who ate pickles had significantly higher systolic and diastolic pressure. Due to this, the World Health Organization says that you shouldn't eat more than 2 grams of sodium a day. Number 8. Alcohol. You should avoid alcohol because it can raise your blood pressure. Not only can it make your high blood pressure worse, but it can also hurt the walls of your blood vessels if you take too much. The American Heart Association says so. Too much alcohol use may also be a risk factor for heart disease on its own. There are also a lot of empty calories in alcohol, so it could make you gain weight unintentionally. The American Heart Association says that men shouldn't drink more than 2 drinks per day, and women should not have more than 1 drink per day. Number 9. Condiments. Someone with high blood pressure doesn't have to stay away from all the condiments. But it's important to read the label because some products have a lot of sugar or salt in them. It's also important not to rely on how something tastes, since some condiments that don't taste salty may still have a lot of sodium. Checking the labels can help a person replace the condiments they use often with ones that are lower in salt. Let's take ketchup for example. 1 tablespoon of ketchup can have 196 milligrams of sodium. And when you are eating burgers and fries, you add 1 tablespoon and then the other, and soon it becomes the cause of your high blood pressure. So make a habit of reading labels before you buy things. Number 10. Red meat. Not all red meats are made the same. When it comes to red meat, 1 18-ounce ribeye or one of these cowboy ribeyes that restaurants serve can have almost 1,200 calories. It's not only the calories that you should be worried about. It also contains almost 1,200 milligrams of sodium in a single serving. So if you have high blood pressure, you should stay away from red meat. Not only this, but the process of metabolizing red meat in the body may also release compounds that elevate blood pressure even more. So, if you want to control your blood pressure, stay away from processed red meat. Number 11. Fast food. Now, if you have high blood pressure and you're eating fast foods like cheeseburgers, fries, chicken tenders, and fried cheese curds, you already know what I'm going to say. I don't even need to explain. But let's just take 1 big cheeseburger from a fast food place. You know what about 940 milligrams of sodium are in a large cheeseburger. And you know that you don't just eat the cheeseburger, you also get a big order of fries too. Now you have almost 400 milligrams of more sodium to deal with. With that much sodium going in, even medications will not be able to control your blood pressure. So what comes next? Your doctor will increase the amount of medication to control your blood pressure, which will cause additional weight on your kidneys and liver. So try to avoid these fast foods as much as possible. Number 12. Snacks with a high salt content. Snacks like chips can be very high in sodium. Even a small bag of potato chips can get you in trouble. They look pretty good, don't they? Guess what? 250 milligrams of sodium are in this small half-filled bag, so never eat those snacks whenever you feel hungry. Instead, opt for natural foods like salads for evening craving. Number 13. Foods high in sugar. If you have high blood pressure, you should stay away from sugar as well. If you eat a lot of sugar, you might become overweight, which can make your high blood pressure worse. Begin by avoiding the usual suspects, like having a lot of candy. Donuts and other things that are baked should also be avoided. Let's look at how much sodium is in a single donut. There can be more than 300 milligrams of sodium and more than 300 calories in a large donut. And in general, it's not your friend, especially if you have high blood pressure. Number 14. Frozen diet meals. You should not assume that foods are healthy just because they are low in calories. Many of these frozen diet meals are high in sodium, so keep an eye on the labels. Number 15. Caffeine. Caffeine can temporarily raise blood pressure. In people with diagnosed hypertension, this temporary rise can lead to blood pressure readings that are very high. Research shows that a cup of coffee may cause a small to moderate rise in blood pressure, especially if you don't drink coffee very often. But here's the catch. According to this research, if you drink your cup of coffee at the same time of the day every day, this blood pressure raising effect is diminished. So, if you can't live without your cup of coffee, Make a habit of drinking it at the same time of the day. Number 16. Chinese food needs to go. I think most of us have ordered Chinese food at least once. I bet you didn't know that a typical order of beef and broccoli could have almost 3,000 milligrams of sodium. Add another 1,000 milligrams of sodium if you use soy sauce, bringing the total to about 4,000 milligrams. What could go wrong? That's about twice as much as the American Heart Association says you should eat per day. Number 17. Beans in a can. There can be a lot of sodium in canned beans, especially baked beans. About 1,800 milligrams of sodium are in a 12-ounce of baked beans. There are also 30 grams of sugar in the same can. If you have high blood pressure, you should stay away from foods that are high in both salt and sugar. You can opt for a low-sodium version, which has about 400 milligrams per can. Number 18. Creams. Heavy cream, light cream, and half and half are the most common kinds of cream. Heavy cream is the thickest and has the most calories and saturated fat, with about 400 calories. If you eat too much saturated fat, you are more likely to have high cholesterol, which is associated with hypertension. We hope you enjoyed the video. If so, hit the like button and share it with your loved ones. If you have any questions or comments, let us know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of our amazing videos. You can also watch our other videos suggested just for you. See you in the next video.